Okay, so now the thing is, we have discussed about the string, and what is that? This is a sequence of characters, right? Now, in our biological sequences, we know that we can write the nucleotide as A, T, G, C, or similarly, we can write the amino acid sequences in case of protein, or RNA sequences in case of RNA. But the problem is, if we are trying to find out that how long is that particular sequence, so we should count that 1 plus 2, 2 plus 3, 2 plus 1, 3, 3 plus 1, 4. Just like that, we can count each of these sequences, each of these nucleotide or amino acids in that particular sequence, and we can find out the total length of that particular nucleotide or protein, right? So in Python, that can be done by using very simple syntax, and that is known as len. So len is a function, len. Now you can see that that is basically related to length, right? So len is a function which can be used to find out the total length of any kind of string. Now, for example, here it is given that hello world, it is a string including this space. And now if we write this syntax, so it will give the output of this total length of this sequence. So what will be that? You can count manually. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, isn't it? Including the space or any characters, whatever they are inside the quotes. Okay, so if I run this, I'm getting 11. Now similarly, now here you can see that only the syntax is syntax is given, but it is not stored in any variable, right? So it is good practice to store that particular value inside a variable. So that's why in the next example, I have taken one variable known as DNA. So I told you that DNA, the variable name should be in small letter. So you can do that also, no problem. Okay. Now this is the string, including this blank space and including this exclamation symbol. Now, if you run this, what you will get? Now, I will ask some questions. If you know that, just unmute your mic and you can say the answer. So it will be good if we are interacting. Otherwise, this kind of class will be boring. Okay.
Correct.
8. Okay, let's run. So particularly, we have not printed anything, so that's why we are not getting anything. Okay, so if we run this lane of DNA, so then we will get the output 8. Okay, good. So remember that it is for the length is used to calculate the any string, including the punctuations or including the blank spaces also. All right. Now, next we will see what do we mean by indexing. Now, in your class, all of you have some kind of a roll number, right? Enrollment number or roll number. Now, why that is useful? Because sometimes you maybe some 2 or 3 person with same name and surname also. So in that case, how we can differentiate between those people? So it is easy if we index them using some roll number, and then we can call their roll number so that they can respond. So that is the particular thing which is also utilized in case of computer programming language. Everything in our computer is saved in a memory and in some places. So that place, you can remember that as an index of that particular thing. Okay. So for example, if we are assigned this string S, in a variable called s, and if we run this, we can check that this is as it is printed, including this code, right? As we are running in Jupyter Notebook or Anaconda distribution. And better way to do that, we have already discussed about that thing. Try to use print and that variable name within parentheses. Okay, so if you run this, you will get the same thing, but excluding this code. So that is the basic thing. Now, what is index? Okay, now we are using this string here as a test case. So you can see that we have written that in this Excel sheet. So in every cell, every letter is written, right? Hello world. Now we can start from the beginning, that where this age is located. So the position is marked with 0. Okay, so these are the index of these characters. Okay, now age is stored in 0th position. Similarly, E is stored in first position. L is stored in second position. Second L is stored in third position, like this. Is it clear? So what is index?
Yes, sir.
Good. So as we can move from the beginning, we can move from the end also. And in that case, the index will be marked as -1. It is not started by 0. That difference should be remembered. Okay. Why so? Because this is very logical that if we say this string index 0, so then it will be called as age. But again, if we are marking this also 0, so if we say string index of 0, so then it will not run. It will confuse that whether I'll give the output as H or whether it will be D, right? So to avoid that situation, we are marking this as -1, and similarly we can proceed in this direction, front side, to -1, -2, -3, etc. Okay, so that is the basic concept of index. So this is very useful.
Sir,
Yes.
can you please repeat this portion again? Why this D is -1 and H is -11?
Okay, so see, we can start indexing from the front side of that particular string. In that case, it will start as 0. 0 position is the first position. Okay, where H is 2. In that case, no problem. But if we are using the indexing from the back side of that particular string, sometimes it is required. Okay, sometimes it is required in bioinformatics analysis also. You will find that this kind of negative indexing is very much suitable for some kind of analysis. But the fact is, if now the index position, which will be at the end side, if we start with 0, so then what will be the problem? The problem is, now if we call this 0th position element, so now the code will be confused that what I will give the answer, whether that is H, because that is also in 0th position, and from the back side, if we start with 0th position, so that is also D, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
So to avoid that situation, the negative indexing starts with -1. So now if you call that, now if you see this example, then it will be more clear. Suppose the syntax is, we will write the index position inside this third bracket. Okay, and after the variable name. So S is the variable name. You can find that here we have used S, the variable name. So we are saying that, okay, from this variable you tell me what is the 0th position element. Okay, so that is the first element. What will be that?
H.
So H.
H, very easy. Then we are saying that, okay, give me the first element. Sorry, second element. So that is
E.
S of 1, E. Very easy.
E.
Okay, so it is saying after 10 minutes it will be okay. So if the meeting is over, so then you rejoin again. Okay. Mm. And if we uh, write s of 10, so it will give us
D.
d. So similarly, you can use s of -1. Okay. So then also you will find that output is d. If you
D.
write, yeah, if you write -7, so you will find that that is O. Okay, so that is the test case. No problem. Now, why we are using this kind of syntax? Uh, because sometimes in our DNA, from our DNA or from our protein sequences, we sometimes require some chunk of the sequences, a part of that particular sequence. Okay, sometimes we require that. So then we can use another very useful operation, that is the colon. Okay, that is for slicing the string. Okay, how we can use that? Suppose the syntax what you have written just now, s within third bracket, some position, index position. Now we are placing the colon, and before that colon we are placing some index value, and after that we are not placing any value. So that kind of syntax is for to grab everything past the first term all the way to the length of the s, which in length s. So take the example, so then it will be more clear. So you can check that what is there into second position, second index, that is l, right? So we are including l and getting all the letters, including the space after that. Okay, so this is the syntax, how we can do that. But the main string has not been modified. You can check that.
স্যার এখানটা বুঝলাম না, এই কোলনের এই জাস্ট 2 এর পর কোলনটা, এটা একটুখানি বলুন।
Yes. So suppose what I should run first. If we are running in this way using colon, okay. So let's take this thing. So it is printing all this string at a string. Okay. That is a syntax. Slicing operator. This is a slicing operator where there will be one value at the front side of this column and on the back side of this column. Okay, so here and here you can put some values. So what is the example of that case? Test case, you take 2 here and you don't put any value after that column. All right, now if you test, what is giving? So it starts with
এলএলও ওয়ার্ল্ড,
yes,
মানে বাকি যেটা রয়েছে সেটা পুরোটা।
yes, all these things are printed. Okay, so that is one case. But the main string has not been modified. You can check that s is there because you have not modified that particular string. And now the reverse case. Suppose you want to grab everything up to the third index. Okay, so what is the third index here?
Means
Second, third.
HELL.
Index wise that is 3, but if I am talking
HCl.
about, if I am talking about the third element, so first element, second element, third element.
Up to 3.
Yes.
Up to 3 তে তো মানে double L তো নিতে
No,
হবে।
up to 3 means the index wise up to 3, but
Okay.
but the thing is, if you are putting 3 here, so it will not include the third index element, but up to the second index element. Okay, so that is the difference. So even we are talking about the up to third index, that means it is n-1. Just run it, then it will be clear. See, HEL is printed, so that means not including this position element, but -1 position element. So every time you should remember this concept. But when we are talking about up to something, so up to n, so that means we will move to n-1 position.
Sir, if we say third index, that
Yes.
means it is the fourth element, right?
Right. Now, if you are trying to if you are trying to extract till the third index position element, so then you should write up to 4. So then it will print L.
Third. Oh, yes.
Okay. So every time you should increase one more value. Like if you print 4 or 5, what it will print? You can check that. What is 5? So this one space. So it will move up to O, right? So it will
Hello.
print
It's
hello.
it would be hello.
Yes. So that is the case. And these are very useful to grab some part of a long sequence. So I have already discussed this thing. Now, yeah. So this is the test case. Suppose you have a DNA with this sequence ATT, GG. Okay. Now we can check this length of this DNA by length DNA, this command. And now if we are trying to find out the coordinate or the sequence which has a coordinate 3 to 6. Okay, so then what will be the syntax? Now, coordinate usually starts with +1. You all know that, not from 0, right? In case of our, suppose what I say, promoter and structural gene. So you can find that +1, +2, +3, +4, plus like this way, and -1, -2, -3, -2, -4 in this way, negative direction, right? So there is no 0.
Yeah.
There is no 0.
Upstream and downstream.
Yes, but there is no 0. So
Yes.
utilizing that kind of concept, if we are saying that, okay, to find out the coordinate 3 to 6, then from this concept, you can find out 3 to 6 means from here to here, isn't it? Are you getting my point? Because that coordinate doesn't indicate the index value, but the position of the element value.
Sir,
Yes.
if there is no any kind of space in 5 position, so that would be like if in the 5th position was I, so it would be up to I.
And not getting your question.
I mean, sir, 3 to 6, the position was, the total
Hmm.
was here up to 4.
Yes.
Because there 5 was vacant.
Yes.
3 to 6 position. If
Yes.
there is any kind of word was there, it's not up to 4, it's up to 5.
So what?
So that was I asked. 3
Okay.
to 6 the position.
Mm-hmm.
Here you said 3 to 6 position was up to 4. Because there is 5, in 5 there was a space. That's why we take up to 4.
Yeah, that is the difference I am talking about. That if we are talking about the index, not index, but the coordinate of 3 to 6, so then you cannot start with 0. So do not consider that coordinate starts with 0. Index is starting with 0, but coordinate starts with 1. So that means third coordinate would be T, right? This one.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So third, fourth, fifth, sixth, you need all these 4 elements, right? Because
So, sir, when we are talking about coordinate, we have to include the position as well. I mean, say for example, sir, you have given 3 to 6. So the third position as well as the sixth position
yes,
number will be included. Okay.
yes, and for that we need to tweak that particular syntax in your index position. Okay, so then you need to calculate. Okay, so for taking this coordinate value, what will be the index position? That you need to calculate, and if you put that in your syntax, so it will give you the exact sequence. Okay.